Then how does one decrease the value of a courtesan?
In the case of pregnancy, it would reduce it to nearly zero. That building up ahead is the place you were looking for, yes?
Oh.
Then I'll be off, if you'll excuse me.
Hey guys, welcome back to Anime Sensei Reaction. In the previous episode, Mao Mao continued navigating the dangerous politics and hidden secrets of the Rear Palace while solving another mysterious incident through logic and careful observation. We also saw more moments showing how much Jinshi values her intelligence, even if Mao Mao herself keeps trying to avoid becoming important within the court. The atmosphere around the Jade Pavilion still feels tense because every consort, servant, and official seems connected to hidden rivalries and personal agendas. Another thing I'm loving is how the anime balances palace drama with detailed mystery solving, especially whenever Mao Mao starts analyzing poison symptoms or suspicious behavior. Going into episode 18, I feel like the story is building towards something much larger behind the scenes, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mao Mao gets caught in a conflict involving powerful people near the emperor himself. Let's get into the reaction.
You're leaving me now?
We worked hard on your disguise. If I were to go in with you, it'd be all for nothing.
Right.
Goodbye. It's fine. I didn't show any emotion when I spoke. I truly hope you enjoy your evening, good sir. A dream from the past, far back when I was only an infant. Probably because I brought it up.
You're finally awake.
Hi, Dad. Morning.
So what are your plans for today?
Nothing.
Since you're not terribly busy, would you take this to the Verdigris house for me?
All right.
Well, Mao Mao, you don't have work today?
I'm on vacation.
Even when you're on holiday, you stop by the apothecary?
Just passing by. That's not the main reason I'm here.
Hold it right there, Pyrene.
We've talked this to death already. Mao Mao, you're back!
They're suffocating me, Pyrene.
I'm the one suffocating here with her constant nagging granny routine.
I'm far from being.
After giving a calm and respectful answer to Nam Hoa's question, Mao Mao quietly asked for permission to leave. Her voice carried the same detached politeness she always used, the kind that created an invisible line between herself and everyone around her. She never lingered where emotions could become complicated. Yet Nam Hua did not respond immediately. There was a strange pause hanging in the air, subtle but noticeable, as if he wanted to stop her from leaving without fully understanding why. His expression barely changed, but something in his eyes betrayed hesitation. It felt as though there were still words trapped inside him, thoughts he could not organize into speech quickly enough before she slipped away again. Mao Mao noticed it instantly. She always noticed everything. Without sounding rude, she pointed out the obvious problem. Both of them were disguised at the moment. If they walked together into that establishment, people would start asking questions. Suspicion would spread before they even had a chance to react, and the entire purpose of their arrangements would collapse. Her reasoning was practical, clean, and impossible to challenge. Nam Hua understood that she was right the moment she spoke. No matter what excuse he invented, he could not deny the logic in her words. In the end, he gave a reluctant nod and went inside alone. Mao Mao remained outside for a brief moment, watching him disappear into the building before casually wishing him an enjoyable evening. The tone almost sounded teasing, though her expression barely shifted. Then she turned away as if nothing about the encounter had mattered to her at all. That night, however, sleep did not bring her peace. In the darkness before dawn, Ma Mao suddenly woke with a sharp breath. Her body tensed instinctively, and for a moment she remained frozen beneath the blankets while fragments of a nightmare clung stubbornly to her thoughts. The dream had felt far too vivid to ignore. She had seen a woman standing over her when she was still a small child, the figure distorted by shadow and fury, clutching a blade that reflected a dim light. The woman had tried to stab her. Even after waking, the image remained painfully clear, not like an ordinary dream but like something buried deep inside her memory. Ma Mao slowly sat upright and rubbed her forehead. She disliked.
Done with you. Choose one or the other.
Huh?
I don't know what this is about, but it looks like Pining has a lot on her plate too.
Beauty is like a good deal, it doesn't last for long. You're the one making me bring you the offers.
And I never asked you to. Why is it you're so pushy?
You're calling you just a brat. Was that Mau Mau I saw skulking away?
She's been here for a while.
Is she going to the annex?
Good morning. She used to chase me out, overcome with hate. I guess she doesn't have the energy anymore. Or maybe she's forgotten how to talk entirely. As her illness worsens, her memories are gradually torn into shreds. Dad's medicine was effective, but at this point, it won't even provide temporary relief. And yet, it's far better than offering nothing.
Pardon me. That customer has returned.
Yes, well, the man's got a good nose. Go fetch May May.
Today, the Verdigris House is a reputable establishment, but a decade or so ago, it had a sordid past marred by disaster. This courtesan served customers during that era, and was unlucky enough to catch syphilis. By the time Dad arrived at the brothel, the illness was still in the early stages. If he had prior knowledge about the disease, he might have been able to properly treat her, but nobody trusted a eunuch who appeared out of nowhere.
Liked uncertainty, especially when it involved emotions she could not dissect logically. After a while, she decided there had to be a reasonable explanation. The previous day she had spent too much time discussing courtesans and old stories with Nam Hua. That conversation must have stirred old impressions in her subconscious. Dreams were often nothing more than scraps of memory twisted together during sleep. That explanation was convenient, organized, and emotionally distant, so she accepted it without digging deeper. The next day, following a request from her father, Ma Mao headed toward the Luktan Pavilion. The atmosphere there was noisier than usual the moment she arrived. Before she even reached the inner halls, she heard raised voices. Inside, Bok Lin was arguing fiercely with the madam of the house. The older woman had apparently spent considerable effort arranging possible places for Bok Lin to relocate to, offering one option after another, yet every suggestion was rejected immediately. Bok Lin stubbornly refused to leave the pavilion. The argument itself carried strange emotions beneath the surface. The madam spoke with irritation, but there was also concern hidden underneath. Bok Lin, meanwhile, sounded defensive in the way someone does when they are afraid of losing the only place they have ever truly belonged to. The pavilion was harsh, unforgiving, and transactional, yet for women like them it was also home. Leaving meant entering an uncertain future with no guarantees. Ma Mao quietly slipped away from the argument and continued toward the secluded room her father had mentioned. The room stood isolated from the rest of the pavilion, deliberately hidden from guests and separated from the lively entertainment halls. Inside lay a woman who had long been suffering from illness. In the past, this woman had always reacted aggressively whenever Ma Mao came near, shouting at her to leave or throwing whatever objects she could still grasp. But now the disease had stolen nearly all her strength. Even sitting upright appeared difficult for her. At times she struggled to remember words, and her eyes wandered aimlessly as if pieces of her mind were gradually dissolving. Ma Mao examined her quietly. The medicine prescribed by her father had once shown promising results. If treatment had begun earlier,
She had to continue serving customers. That's the law of being a courtesan. A few years later, when the rashes started to reappear, the sores began spreading almost instantly. Ever since then, this woman has been locked up here, out of view of the customers. It's a generous situation. Courtesans who can't work are usually tossed in the street. This room is pretty stuffy. I'll burn some incense. What is it?
Big Sis wanted you to know, that weirdo with the monocle is here, so you should avoid going out there for a while.
I've got it. Thank you. As long as I stay put, I won't run into him here. He's a longtime customer of the Verdigris house, an old acquaintance. Stupid. She's gone.
He's gone now, and thank you again for being so patient.
Did you spend time with him, Mei Mei?
Who else can?
there might have been hope. But now the disease had advanced too far. The symptoms had consumed the woman's body over many years, leaving little room for recovery. Still, abandoning treatment entirely would accomplish nothing. Continuing the medicine was the only option left, even if the results were minimal. As Mao Mao prepared the treatment, her thoughts drifted toward the history of the pavilion itself. The Lupton Pavilion was famous now, admired for its beauty and refinement. Wealthy men visited it seeking elegance, music, poetry, and companionship. But about a decade earlier, its reputation had nearly collapsed because of scandal. During that period, the woman now hidden away in isolation had worked there as a courtesan. Somewhere along the line, she contracted syphilis, a disease feared intensely in that era because of how cruelly it destroyed the body over time. It happened around the same period Mao Mao's adoptive father first arrived at the pavilion. Back then, her condition had already been deteriorating, but there was still a possibility of saving her. If he had been trusted and allowed to examine her properly from the beginning, he might have cured the illness entirely. Unfortunately, nobody believed him. To the people there, he was merely an unfamiliar eunuch appearing out of nowhere and claiming medical knowledge. In a place built on suspicion and survival, trust did not come easily. The rules governing courtesans were merciless. Women who could entertain clients earned food and shelter. Women who could not became burdens. Even after her symptoms appeared, the woman had still been forced to continue working. Over the years, the disease spread visibly across her body. Rashes formed first, then tumors appeared beneath her skin and multiplied relentlessly. Eventually, her condition became impossible to hide from customers. That was when she was moved into isolation. In truth, the pavilion could have discarded her entirely. Many establishments would have thrown away a sick courtesan the moment she stopped generating profit. Some women ended up starving in alleyways or dying anonymously in gutters. Compared to such fates, being hidden in a private room and allowed to remain there was almost an act of mercy. The room smelled faintly rotten beneath layers of medicinal herbs. Mao Mao lit incense to
Look at Big Sis. She seems to be doing well today. Also, he brought up that offer for you again.
I don't see how you put up with him, sis.
It's not so bad. And the old lady doesn't care as long as he pays up.
That's most likely the reason why she keeps pushing for me to become a courtesan. If I didn't have my job, I might have been sold off by now.
From where I'm standing, I would say it's a pretty good deal. I mean, a courtesan getting everything that she wants? Do you realize how rare that is?
You know the old lady. She'd let the weight of silver overrule that.
She's saving up for her boat fare to paradise. Can you really blame her? I know that I am getting a little older. I should take offers seriously.
She's not even 30 yet. But for a courtesan, that's retirement age. Why not just leave?
One day I will. But for now, I'll just keep working here a little while longer.
I don't know what's going through Mei-Mei's mind. Maybe it's love. But if that's the case, it's not a rabbit hole I want to delve into. That's an emotion I'm sure I left behind. Back in the womb of the woman who birthed me.
I haven't scrubbed your back for ages now.
I'm going to pass.
Come on, don't be like that.
I was thinking the same thing.
Just let her do it. Who knows how often we'll get the chance to see you. I mean...
I'm doing this pro bono, so you have to help me find good customers in exchange.
Cover the odor, watching thin trails of smoke drift upward through the dim air. As the fragrance slowly spread, the sick woman began humming softly to herself. The sound was unsettling, neither joyful nor sorrowful, just an eerie tune floating aimlessly through the silence. A little later, one of the trainee courtesans hurried into the room looking nervous. She warned Mao Mao that the bespectacled customer had returned again and advised her not to go outside. Mao Mao immediately understood who she meant. The man was a regular visitor to the pavilion, wealthy enough that nobody dared offend him, but Mao Mao found him deeply unpleasant. Just hearing about his arrival made her mood worsen. Not long after the warning, the sick woman suddenly sat upright and began moving pieces across a board game by herself. Her hands trembled while she played both sides aimlessly, as though trapped inside some distant memory only she could still see. Watching her, Mao Mao quietly thought the sight looked absurdly tragic. But she kept the thought to herself. Eventually Mai Mai arrived and informed her that the bespectacled customer had finally left. However, the older courtesan also revealed something far more disturbing. The man had once again expressed interest in Mao Mao herself. The idea alone made Mao Mao shiver internally. Since no one else was available, Mai Mai had attended to him personally. The customer paid generously enough that the madam tolerated nearly everything about him. Hearing this, Mao Mao suddenly understood why the madam had once tried so persistently to convince her into becoming a courtesan. Had circumstances unfolded differently, had she never been taken into the rear palace, she might eventually have been sold to that same man. The realization left an unpleasant taste in her mouth. Mai Mai herself was nearing 30 years old, an age considered dangerously old in the world of courtesans. Beauty faded quickly in such places, and once it vanished, so did value. The madam would likely arrange her sale before that happened completely. Yet despite knowing this, Mai Mai admitted she still wished to remain there a little longer. Mao Mao could not fully understand the emotion hidden behind those words. Perhaps it was attachment. Perhaps it was love twisted into something.
Just perfect. Didn't think the meeting place would have services found in the pleasure district. That wasn't what I traveled there for. Hold on. Have a moment?
Yes?
Share this with Sweethead, please. It's a present from a weirdo.
A weirdo, huh? Got it. I appreciate it.
Sure.
I should be getting back to work.
For goodness sakes. We're having a vegetarian dinner today, so make sure not to nibble on any meat or fish, Xiao Mao. I realize you're taking a break, but don't completely lose consciousness.
Huh? We're eating vegetarian tonight, right? Oh, damn it. And here I thought getting back to work would help distract me from her.
One more thing. There'll be no more hiding weird plants in the warehouse.
Yikes. She's sharp.
If there's nowhere to put it, why don't you ask Master Jinshi to let you use one of the vacant rooms?
Thanks, but I can't use a noble's home as my personal medicine cabinet.
You may appear apathetic, but you're keen. You know where you stand and how to play the game.
I'm of lowly birth, nothing will change that. The fact that I am even here now is a small miracle.
Maybe so. Although, because somebody was born noble doesn't inherently make them any different from
painful. Or perhaps people simply feared leaving familiar suffering behind because uncertainty felt even worse. Mao Mao preferred not to think about such things too deeply. Feelings like romantic longing seemed distant to her, almost belonging to another person entirely. Sometimes she wondered whether whatever capacity she had for such emotions had been left behind with the woman who gave birth to her. Later that evening, the other two senior courtesans joined them in the bath. The atmosphere shifted completely once they arrived. They teased Mao Mao relentlessly and insisted she help wash their backs, joking that it might be a very long time before they had another opportunity to see her again. Their laughter echoed warmly through the steam-filled room, creating a rare sense of comfort and familiarity. For a brief time, Mao Mao allowed herself to relax. Elsewhere, Nam Hua had already returned to his residence, but his thoughts refused to settle. The place he had visited earlier disturbed him in ways he had not expected. It resembled a red light district far more closely than he had imagined. The realization unsettled him, though not out of moral outrage. What bothered him was the strange emotional discomfort tied to the entire experience. After all, he had never gone there seeking pleasure. His only intention had been to meet Mao Mao and deliver a bottle of alcohol from a certain eccentric official. When he eventually passed the bottle to her, he explained that it came from a peculiar man working in the goldsmith department. He also instructed her to share the alcohol with Lady Tui Lin. Later, while speaking with Mao Mao, Lady Tui Lin brought up another issue entirely. She had noticed Mao Mao filling cabinets and corners with unusual medicinal herbs and strange collected materials. Amused by this habit, she suggested requesting an additional room from Nam Hua to use purely for storage. Mao Mao refused almost immediately. The idea of occupying a luxurious room solely to store herbs and odd ingredients felt excessive to her. She had spent her life in cramped environments where every object needed practical value. Wasting space on herself felt uncomfortable. Lady Tui Lin observed quietly that although Mao Mao acted indifferent towards status, she
from you or me. Life can twist and turn, and no one can predict where it will lead them. If you view everything in terms of status, then you'll miss opportunities.
You really think so?
Yes, I know so. Now, get back to work. But first I need you to run a small errand.
Excuse me, I've come to pick up some medicine.
Sure. Wait just a moment.
It's like night and day compared to the pharmacy that the quack doctor runs in the rear palace. This place is close to the military, so they must get a lot of injuries. There's nothing like a smell that leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. I wonder what they have in their medicine cabinets. What I'd give to rummage through this place. Get a hold of yourself and stop acting like this.
What is happening?
Oh, it's her again. I am just waiting around for some medicine.
Sweet A? Oh, good, you're here.
I'm in need of more medicine for the guardhouse.
Of course.
The guardhouse?
So,
Come to think of
how's
it, the last time I saw her was near the military wing.
All right myself.
That must be why she smelled like herbs. Because she handles them working there. I wonder why she seems to dislike me.
Well, is there anything else you need?
No, nothing else.
A court lady shouldn't even be doing things like this. Pretend you didn't hear that. You need medicine, right?
What kind of medicine is this?
Blake!
was actually extremely aware of social hierarchy. Mao Mao admitted it herself without embarrassment. She had been born in a lowly environment. Simply being allowed to live in such comfort already felt like more than she deserved. Lady Tui Lin smiled gently at that answer. She reminded Mao Mao that high-born individuals were not fundamentally different from anyone else. Fortune changed constantly. Someone wealthy today could become powerless tomorrow, while those born low might unexpectedly rise. Judging human worth entirely through status would only narrow her understanding of the world. The conversation lingered in Mao Mao's mind afterward. Not long later, she visited the Imperial Medical Office to retrieve something for Lady Tui Lin. The moment she stepped inside, her eyes visibly brightened with interest. Unlike the medical office within the inner palace, this place possessed a harsher, more practical atmosphere. Because it stood near the military division, many wounded soldiers and injured personnel were treated there regularly. For someone fascinated by medicine, the place felt endlessly interesting. While there, she encountered a familiar court lady named Tui Lin, a woman with light makeup and a composed demeanor. Mao Mao had seen her before near the military area, so hearing that she came to collect medicine for a guard station suddenly made everything connect. The faint scent of herbs she carried around her now made perfect sense. Even so, Mao Mao sensed something unpleasant beneath their interactions. For reasons she could not fully identify, Tui Lin seemed to dislike her. As Mao Mao lingered nearby, she overheard someone quietly remark that a woman in Tui Lin's position did not actually need to work as a court lady at all. The statement carried implications Mao Mao could not fully unravel yet, but it added another layer to the growing mystery surrounding her. After obtaining the substance she had come for, Mao Mao examined it carefully and discovered it was nothing more than potato starch. That discovery unexpectedly pulled her thoughts back toward Nam Hua. There were too many peculiar things about him. Twice every month he seemed obligated to perform some mysterious duty. Before those occasions, he spent unusually long periods bathing in water. Afterward he visited the Hong.
Potato flour? This is for Master Jinshi, right? Now that I think about it, Master Jinshi is pretty mysterious. And it's not just the seemingly covert work he gets assigned every few weeks. It's also the way he takes those long baths the day before, and how he burns incense before he goes, and the vegetarian diet. It's like a purification ceremony. Are eunuchs allowed to perform ceremonial rites? It wouldn't be out of place for a noble to do that. But if he's of such high rank, why is he a eunuch? I wonder if the previous Empress Dowager also made him a eunuch as the result of some grand unilateral decision. Just like my dad.
It's the girl's adopted father. He's a eunuch and a former doctor.
If she studied under a former doctor, that would explain why she is so knowledgeable. And you say he's a eunuch?
Yes.
I'm searching my memory. Did we have any skilled doctors among the eunuchs?
Pardon the intrusion. Would you care to pick up our discussion from the other day?
Seems to me that you had engaged in a bit of dirty trickery.
How very rude. That's rich to hear from a thief like yourself. I spent a whole decade working on that old madam, and then you went and stole her right from under my nose. You made a fool of me, and I do not appreciate it.
So do you want your prize returned?
Not quite. I shall pay whatever it is you ask. A wise man is not keen on repeating his past mistakes.
And if I refuse?
Well then, I suppose there's nothing I can do, is there? I mean, how many people can defy someone of your rank? I could count every single one of them on just one hand.
I thought so. He does know my true identity then.
I'm just...
river and fasted through the night. The pattern resembled purification rituals practiced before sacred ceremonies. The more she considered it, the stranger it became. Could a eunuch even conduct rituals of that nature? And if Nam Hua truly belonged to noble blood, why had he become a eunuch in the first place? The question led her toward a darker possibility. Perhaps, like her own adoptive father, he had been forced into such a fate by the late Empress Dowager. The thought unsettled her more than she expected. Meanwhile, on that very same day, the eccentric official Lahan once again visited Nam Hua. The conversation between them quickly turned tense. Nam Hua remarked coldly that according to someone knowledgeable, the things Lahan had done in the past were considered disgraceful. But Lahan showed no embarrassment whatsoever. Instead, he casually revealed that he had spent 10 years persuading the madam. 10 entire years. After devoting that much time, he had no intention of accepting criticism now. especially from what he described as a hawk that had swooped in and stolen what belonged to him. Nam Hua understood the meaning immediately. Lahan wanted him to return the fried tofu. The phrase came from a proverb about a hawk stealing fried tofu at the last moment, something nearly yours suddenly snatched away by someone else. In this case, the tofu was Ma Mao herself. Nam Hua had removed her from the pavilion and made her his personal attendant before Lahan could act. Lahan even told him to name any price. He claimed he did not wish to repeat the mistakes of the past. When Nam Hua calmly asked what would happen if he refused, Lahan simply answered that he would accept the outcome because there was little else he could do against someone of Nam Hoa's status. That was the moment Nam Hua realized the truth completely. Lahan knew his real identity. Worse still, he was deliberately using that knowledge as pressure. Yet strangely, this revelation bothered Nam Hua less than another realization creeping slowly into his thoughts. Deep down, he did not want to admit that Lahan was actually Mao Mao's biological father. The idea itself irritated him in ways he struggled to explain. After that unpleasant exchange, Nam Hua later approached Ma Mao and
Earned is all. You know, about what my daughter would think.
Ah, I see. So that's what this is about. I didn't want to accept it, but Lakan is Mao Mao's father by blood.
I'd like to pay her a visit sometime, so if you wouldn't mind letting her know, I'd appreciate it. Bye now.
Apothecary,
Yes?
there's an official who wants to meet you sometime soon.
Who is this official?
It's that weirdo I've been telling you about. His name's Lakan. I'll find a way to let him down gently.
Thank you, I hoped you'd say that. Now if you'll excuse me, I have work to do.
I've never seen her make a face like that. And I never want to see it again. Ever.
So we managed to find out somehow. I know this smell.
It's a nerve garden! Here, and here, and here too! What's this? You again?
Oh no, it would appear I've been caught red-handed. Don't overreact. I haven't taken anything yet.
There's dirt on your hands. Seems like you were about to take something when I arrived.
Informed her that a certain official wished to meet her. The moment he mentioned the bottle of alcohol and revealed the man's name was Lahan, her expression transformed instantly. For only a fraction of a second, her face became terrifyingly cold. The change vanished almost immediately, but Nam Hua saw it clearly. It was not simple annoyance. Something much deeper existed there, buried beneath layers of restraint. Without hesitation, he told her he would refuse the meeting on her behalf. He had never seen such an expression from her before, and instinctively he knew he never wanted to see it again. Later on, Ma Mao wandered without any clear destination and eventually found herself returning to the hidden herbal garden she had discovered earlier. The previous time she visited, Tui Lin had interrupted her exploration before she could examine the area properly. This time she intended to inspect every plant carefully. But once again, Tui Lin appeared. The sudden sight of the woman holding a sickle startled Ma Mao badly enough that her body stiffened for a moment. Noticing this reaction, Tui Lin calmly reassured her that the garden belonged to no one in particular. Still, she warned Ma Mao not to visit too frequently because the imperial physicians already knew about the area. Then she casually mentioned that she herself had planted several things there. Naturally, Ma Mao immediately asked what kinds of plants they were. Tui Lin smiled in a strangely playful manner before replying that she had planted medicine capable of bringing the dead back to life. The words struck Ma Mao like lightning. For the first time in a long while, her composure nearly shattered. Her body reacted instinctively, driven by a desperate curiosity she could not suppress. She leaned forward and demanded more details at once, unable to hide her fascination. But Tui Lin only laughed softly. She admitted she had merely been joking. Even so, before leaving, she added one final detail. Soon she intended to cultivate another plant there, something known as evening face. And just like that, the mystery surrounding Tui Lin only deepened further, leaving Ma Mao standing silently among the herbs while countless unanswered questions swirled through her mind like shadows gathering before a storm.
Who's the one overreacting now? This is an unofficial garden anyway, but still, the doctors know about this place, so I would advise against frequent visits.
Are you in charge of this place or what?
In charge? I'm just allowed to plant whatever I want here, that's all there is to it.
Huh. So she's pulling up the weeds. I'm pretty sure her name was Suire, wasn't it? She doesn't seem like the most demonstrative person. Not that I'm one to talk, but still. What have you been planting here lately?
A medicine for resurrection.
You mean? A medicine that can bring the dead back to life? If such a thing exists and is proven to work, then I want it more than anything!
I'm joking.
Joking?
So, girl, I heard you're an apothecary. Just how good of one are you, exactly?
I don't know.
If you truly want to know, in a little while, I will be planting morning glories here. Farewell, then.
Next time, chance or something more.
Alright everyone, that is for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me on Otaku One Read. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and turn on the notification so you won't never miss the next lesson. Let me know your true favorite moment and anime recommendation down in the comment below. Your support surely help the channel grow and keep the lesson coming. We have a lot more exciting anime content, crazy moment and emotional lesson on the way. So stay tuned, take care, keep enjoying anime and I will see you on in the next video. Please, bye bye.